Hello and welcome to Encounter Roleplay. Today we are playing Rise of the Dark Side. We lost episode 2 to the darkness and to the void, so I will be doing a brief recap, but first, let's go around the cast and crew, figure out who we are and who we are playing. Let's start off with Kayla. How you doing?
Good. My name's Kayla. I'm Kayncli on Twitter, and I'm playing tech specialist, medical research droid Spore, SPOR3. And I take care of a bunch of children, and I hate it.
Spore is exhausted if a droid could get exhausted. Oh man, let's deal with the elephant in the room first. Next. Grant, how are you, man?
Well, you know, Strider Heap, when you're 5 Jedi deep in a YT-13 Jeep, you can't handle this Twi'lek creep. Let's talk about Home Droid Spore. When the bodies hit the floor, he patches up, it ain't no chore. We don't want it less, we want it more. Just like our homegirl pal, when she's focused on the here and now. When we speak, she raise a brow. Gonna learn the Force some way somehow. Which brings us to the blind girl Mira Luca. She's more cuddly than a beluga, but she's sharp like Barracuda. She steals your money when she use you, which leaves my sister Lyra. She don't watch He-Man, she watch the She-Ra. You know the Jedi do not fear ya. Don't want Sith nowhere near ya. Now the chat, we want to hear ya. Hoorah!
Oh, okay, we don't even need introductions now. Raising the bar for introductions each and every week. Each one's better than the last. Speaking of our homegirl pal, Shauna, how you doing? It's Wednesday. Good. You ready for some Star Wars?
Oh, yes, pretty much. Shauna, Flying Cirrus on Twitter. I'm playing Pow. She's a Zabrak Mandalorian, formerly Mandalorian, and currently exhausted by all this Jedi training stuff, which she's now wondering if she's in the right place.
I think everyone's feeling that a little bit. Yeah. Save for the audience, hopefully. Amber, Lyra, what kind of introduction do you have after your brother's shenanigans?
Nothing that can even remotely compete with that. But yeah, I play Lyra, Jedi Guardian. She's got a really anxious, fainting ram as her companion right now, and I love whacking things with lightsabers.
That's one thing about Star Wars that you don't get anywhere else. The whacking the things with the lightsabers. I don't have a better segue to introduce Ezla and Lindy. How you doing?
I'm doing spiffy, Strider. I'm super excited for today's Star Wars campaign, as usual. There's always more licking boundaries to be tested. And we've got little sheep, and something about our super cool scarification ritual. Ezla's so excited. She's so hyped. She's also completely blind, and is not at all a Mira Luca. This will be fun. I'm ready.
Awesome. Before we get into the thick of it, though, I will remind everyone that we are sponsored by Fantasy Grounds, our virtual tabletop engine of choice. It is what we are using. We have maps today. We got rolls like always. All of that's going to be in Fantasy Grounds, which you can try for free over at fantasygrounds.com. Nothing to lose. Go give it a try. Speaking of good deals, we are also sponsored by dndice.co.uk. Head over to their site and save yourself 5% with the coupon code Encounter Roleplay at checkout. And finally, since we're getting all this nerdy swag, let's get some miniatures. From Wayland Games, go to waylandgames.co.uk and get yourself anything. Huge range of D&D, Warhammer, 40k, whatever you need. 20% off. And finally, chat, you guys. I want to remind you how you can interact with today's game. If you haven't followed yet, hit the follow button. Join us. And when we have 20 followers, you get to make a viewer decision and decide something which happens next in our game. We have had sunscreen milkers. We have decided the planet they're on was actually a moon full of crystals. Lots of cool things. And the same goes for retweets. When we hit 20 retweets on this one, which someone will exclamation point tweet for me, please, we will have another viewer decision. And of course, like in all other Encounter Roleplay interactive streams, you can donate to affect the game. You can give players nat 1s, nat 20s. We're still doing wild magic surges. I think we've gotten 1 or 2. Our robot's on fire, so... And
Forever.
Other worse stuff. So, please support the show. And without any further ado, I would like to do a quick recap of the missing episode 2. Our ragtag party of young adventurers found each other thrust together into a small family, let's say, that was sent off on a mission by the Jedi to go offer help to the native Ardians, people who live on the planet of Ardia, which is a moon. The surface of the moon is deadly and inhospitable, but the natives of the planet live inside. They get their oxygen, their food, and their light from fungus, mushrooms that grow from the ceiling, from the floors, and pools of water. Our party found them, was henceforth kidnapped by them, and last episode negotiated their way out of the Ardian tunnels, as long as they promised to come back. They're all children, and they decided they are going to participate in the Ardians' ceremony. Puberty ceremony. To prove that they truly are adults and that they are willing to make sacrifices to become part of the tribe. The party left the Ardians with new wards, each of them gifted a new family member that they must protect with their lives, a small ram with huge heads, huge curly horns, and tiny, sweaty little flabby bodies, which can barely hold up their own heads. Upon returning to the city, the Citadel, the surface moon, city domes, biodome with poly, or whatever it is, they were beset by 2 individuals in cloaks. They were parents, Jedi Peace Corps members, scarred from the war that happened with the Ardians long ago. They asked the Jedi if they could possibly have heard from their son, Kazim. He's part of the Jedi Order, but they haven't heard from him in years. They searched their databases and their files, but there is no record of a Kazim ever existing within the Jedi Order. They were then, of course, attacked by a copy of their robot Spore. Their droid companion, being one of a kind, never before seen, besides this broken bot in a diner that looks exactly like Spore. When the word Jedi was spoken aloud in conversation, the droid sprung to life and attacked the party, breaking some bones in Ezla's arm and fracturing a couple of ribs. It has been 48 hours. Bacta, Force Power, and a very attentive Spore have nursed Ezla back to health. And the party is now trekking back to the Ardians with their sheeps all rubbed up in sun lotion, hoping that no one's sneaking food or water to the surface of the planet. You, all, the 5 of you, arrive at the mouth of the crater that leads into the Ardian encampment. You've decided not to bring along your Jedi Master, as he wasn't explicitly invited and he didn't come along last time. You're trying to be as respectful as a bunch of teenagers can be. You're met yet again with weapons. There's spears, nets, darts. But when the Ardians see you and they see the rams you're carrying, they don't attack. They stand up, speak to each other in a language none of you, not even your droid, understands. and welcomes you with open arms to enter their home through the tunnels into the surface, underneath the surface of the moon. It's more lively today than it has been. The streets are full. There's scarred and tattooed Ardians with decorative face paints. Scars portraying all sorts of grand images of battles or sigils or family crests on their bodies, down their arms, on their faces. On one side of the street, the other side of the street are children, most of them a little younger than you. You see lots of 8, 9, 10-year-olds. But there are a few older children, 15, 16, ones that were unable to pass the tests the first few times around. As you enter, I'd like you to make spot checks, anyone that's trying to be especially observant.
My sheet will let me roll it. Alright.
I think Spore rolled a 195 on a spot check.
Very observant.
Nice job. 20.
Giovanna, you'll be the first to know. With that nat 20, there's a bit of a divide amongst the children also. There's lots of children nervously holding their wards, these little rams. The rams are big for children to hold anyway. They fuss and fight and squeak and honk and make noises. And there's another group. There's not many of them. There'll be a handful here, a handful there, that have no rams. With a nat 20, you see them standing stiff, straight up and down with perfect posture. No emotion betrayed on their face, but water welling up in their eyes and running down their cheeks. They don't talk to anybody. They're ignored by everyone around them. But you make your way towards the center of the Ardians' city. In these subterranean catacombs, there are buildings. There's architecture. These are not built by human intelligent creatures. There's design here. There's emotion. There's sand blown into colorful windows. And everyone seems to be gathering in front of a large pool, in front of the largest 2-story building. There's stone stairways to the left and the right of the pool heading up towards the front door of the buildings. No one's inside, though. Everyone's just gathering around the pool. As you approach, it's undeniable. You can hear the voice of the military, the warriors leader, Voss, as he marches back and forth, shouting, trying to organize people. And you're greeted, a little man standing in the middle of the path, the village elder, standing there on a walking stick. He doesn't turn to greet you, but you can feel his smile as you approach behind him. Never doubt would return home.
Hi! We're back!
Family, okay.
Okay, cool.
Question.
Oh, yeah, no, they're great. They're really well organized.
More or less.
He'll turn his head a bit.
A lot of teamwork.
Look at you. He smiles, a big toothy grin to himself. His teeth are immaculate, bright white. Wise children. No doubts. No doubt. Hurry, Voss! Pool! Go on now. And as you all make your way towards Voss and towards the pool, with that nat 20 from earlier, Giovanni, you're going to notice something else. Blood. The pool, the crystal clear water of last time is stained red, a dark red. And the children standing around the pool can be categorized into two groups. Those holding their rams and those who are covered head to toe in blood. Sigils, symbols painted on their faces.
This is not sanitary.
Is Esla dancing in Fantasy Grounds? Is that what's going on there?
That's exciting.
Nothing.
Yes.
Sorry, I had noticed that.
What happened to them? And I point.
Are you asking me? Because it just looks incredibly unsanitary and...
No, I'm asking the old man.
Beginning trials.
Can I make like an empathy check to kind of get the mood of the people in here?
Yeah, that would work. Go ahead and roll me that empathy check.
Okay. See if like the kids who are all bloody are like on the good side or no. Okay, that was great. This will be a great night.
It is hard to tell. There's a lot of nervous energy in the air. The adults seem filled with pride or excitement. The kids, however, are nervous and scared. You can't read anything in particular from a lot of them.
Okay.
Voss will pass over you guys as he's walking back and forth with his vision, and his head kind of snaps back a moment later. Well, now, I wasn't expecting the return of Jedi.
Hey, we're back!
Jedi is a strong word.
Yeah, that too.
Push his way through the crowd and make his way over to you first. Save for that one. And the fainted ram will kind of snap to and lift its head up and start sniffing at the air. Oh. Seems
Now he wakes up.
they're all in working order. Those are the same ram babies, correct?
Yes,
That's
there
your word
are.
for it,
They're
Ram?
my Fluffy is my child.
This is the same ram, yes.
How do we know if the village elder will interrupt him? Voss! Words, douchebag, stop!
Whoa.
He snarls. We can begin your ceremony with our guests, the Jedi. When he says Jedi, all the kids instinctively look over at you, the adults behind them, all unable to take their eyes away from you. Who would like to go first?
Powell will stand up and she'll go first.
As you walk up, Pow, Voss, he returns the big double-headed vibro axe to his back and goes down to his side. He pulls out a knife. It's not made of the same quality steel as his axe. This is treated, but it's made out of the same fungus handle and stone blade as the rest of everything here. You were able to protect your family, which is the second most important thing in a warrior's life.
Yes.
The first most important thing is sacrifice. He will grab the blade and offer it to you handle first.
I'll grab it. And
He
I'll wait for him
folds
to
his
say it.
arms. The Ardian children wince. Some of them hug their little rams tight and look away.
I get the hint
Strider?
that I'm supposed to.
My I have a blaster pistol. And I have precise shot. I don't know if I'm gonna let this go.
I do it right then. I don't hesitate. I look straight in his eyes. I just do it.
I attempt a called shot to the hand before the blade meets the throat. Your call as a game master.
All of you can feel the rising emotions from Giovanni as he looks at the ram, looks up at Pow, it clicks in his head what's happening. You can tell he's gonna go for his blaster. Do the rest of you allow him to?
They might not be able to, it's been hidden on me.
I will block it with my body. I want to do this.
Your
First,
back,
let's-
is your back to me? Yeah.
This all does happen extremely quickly, even with
Okay.
the Force letting you read other people's emotions. Giovanni, I'd like a shot from you first.
All right, so let's go through this. So I have my character sheet. I have modifiers, and let's see how this goes. So, also I am lucky. So if I miss a roll, I am allowed to re-roll once per day. 19.
Okay, 19 is pretty damn good.
It's like 95%
Pow,
accurate.
I'll allow you to have some kind of reflex save, but this is all happening so quickly.
Okay,
But
reflex
by the
save,
time
okay.
you sense there's something afoot, the blaster's already out.
All right. Yeah.
Oh
no.
no.
With a nat 1, Giovanni, you describe to us what happens. It happens exactly as you envision it.
All right. He pulls the blade. He gets ready to deliver it, and then a bolt hits the end of the blade, bending it back. He avoids lacerating his own eyelid or her own eyelid, and the blade falls from her hands as Giovanni stands there, hand trembling. He does not like to use any sort of blaster or firearm, and he absolutely abhors violence. And he asks if he can be dismissed from the ritual, holding his ram, his child, who he loves. Rambo, or what did we name mine?
Rambert.
Ramrod? Rambert.
Rambert.
I kind of put
Yeah,
my arm
Pow,
on
with-
your shoulder.
Speed, reflexes, and accuracy you have never seen outside of Mandalore before. Giovanni admittedly performs a quite impressive feat in disarming you, damaging the blade. When you look over there, instead of a steadfast warrior, you see a trembling child.
I just give like a seething, angry look at him. Like if I didn't want this to interrupt, I would go over there to him right now.
I give him the bird.
Voss shares your look.
Do I?
I'm an
Is the
instinct.
blade? Is the blade nearby?
It is damaged, lying on the ground, the tip of the blade.
It's still usable then.
Made out of stone, fallen apart. It doesn't come to a sharp point anymore. Technically, still usable. Voss walks forward, though. I thought I told you to take all weapons from intruders. The Ardians
Not
look
an
at him
intruder, I'm a guest.
without any recognition or understanding in their eyes of what he's saying. You
I
cannot
apologize
help.
for my ally.
You cannot help your companions. This is a mission for them alone. If you are not willing to undergo the trials, then you're not willing to dedicate yourself to the family. You are not family. You're a Republic spy, and you will be banished. Must leave. If the Elder insists, you will be taken away.
Anyone who has a soft spot for wildlife is a Republic spy. I get it. Kill it. Kill wantlessly. Look, that's my family you're trying to slaughter. I'm not going to let you. Family first.
If you don't
Make
have
me
the
some
stomach
kind of
for this,
charisma
please-
check.
All right. Okay, let's see what I have. Some kind of charisma. I guess diplomacy's probably the best.
I will allow you
But
to
I
use that. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, whatever other skill I have, it's probably going to be the same. Actually, no. At this point, it won't. So, this is a fun one. +6 modifier now. Ah, you suck. 11. Goodbye, guys. Bye. It's been fun. Have fun joining their cult.
They don't look very moved. The Elder will speak up.
I use my lucky to re-roll.
Okay.
Okay, yeah, that's my one for the day. All right, 16.
16's a little bit better. 16 is a roll that's able to do difficult things. Voss does not look moved, but the Elder will kind of break a solemn smile. Family, important, yes, we said this about family, but the whole point is selflessness and sacrifice.
Take off my tails. Cut off my head tails. It's the same thing.
Ram! If you insist, I will. If Ram
If it spares the Rams, I'll do it.
return home. And when he says home, he doesn't point around him, but points to his chest over his heart. If Ram goes home, then is good. Not to be mourned. Your
Lyra looks
decision
at it.
is
Kind of like the Germans said to wait here, like in the Three Amigos. And I'm like, yeah. He speaks in riddles. What you got,
The
Boz?
decision is yours to make, but you cannot make it for your party members, your friends, your apparent family.
I
If
hold my
they-
hand out. Yeah, oops.
Are not scared. And he goes to the other hip, pulls out yet another one. This one a little bit
Nothing to do
smaller.
with fear.
Mhm.
It's got nothing to do with fear. It's got everything to do with justice and mercy.
I'll
Those
take that.
Rams,
Respect.
it's not their time.
Respect your family enough to let them make their own decisions.
Yeah, you're violating the food chain and all kinds of laws of nature. I go.
He will
I get
hand
it.
the
I
small
get it.
blade back over to Pow.
Can't change.
I'll-
Can't change your minds.
I'll look at Voss and just say, I apologize for my apologize for my family's weakness, and I'll just cut swift. Cut the ram's
Roll
throat.
me an attack check.
All right. What is my attack? 4. Ugh, no. Wow, I am really
With your second nat 1, this thing's not nearly as sharp as you expected it would be. It goes into the side of the throat of the small ram, but instead of gasping or going silent, it starts screaming. And it starts thrashing and flailing, trying to throw itself out of your hands. Blood spraying up all over your face. And in fact, you will drop it and drop the knife, and it will try to run, but not be able to make it very far. It collapses on the ground and kind of starts spinning in a little circle. The same cries of distress coming out the entire time.
All right, can I go up? Can I go up to him and just finish it?
You find the knife on the ground again. Voss, not betraying emotion one way or the other. He's just watching. Roll one more time.
All right.
"22 is much better than that one. You make it swift this time. You grip the blade tight so it doesn't slip out of your blood-stained hands. You squint your eyes so you can still see, despite the blood dripping down your face. And with a quick plunge into the throat, the sounds stop.
I get up
muscle
and
traction stop a second later. Sorry, not trying to interrupt you.
I just kind of like get up like this is not bothering me at all. And I look at my party, like, what's their reaction to this? My friends.
Smooth move.
This
I'm
is
just gonna
probably
throw my
like
hands up like, oh.
one-on-one with Fluffy. Just holding Fluffy's face. It looks like they're having a conversation. The only way a blind girl in a sheep can.
Gross.
So I just nod at them, and I go up to Voss and just hand the blade back.
He
And
takes
just
the
stand
blade
there.
back, this time a little smile on his face. It's the first time you've seen it. Some of you are impressive. Have you thought about your scars? They ought to be painted on, of course. And he points to the children on the far side of the pool that have their blood covering them. They'll have little squiggles on their chests, lines across their face. Some down their arms or on the back of their hands.
I've already had mine. I just kind of like lift. She lifts her chin and kind of just shows her face tattoos. Like, I've already had them done, but I'll give it thought.
The painting is to be done now.
Then yes, fine.
I can
Yeah,
forgive
we can proceed.
I can forgive your not knowing our customs. You shall adorn yourself in the blood of the family.
She nods.
He just motions an open hand to the corpse of your ram lying on the ground.
All right, she'll wipe. If there's any blood on her face, she'll wipe it off and then go up to the put her finger in the ram's blood and just kind of do a couple shapes that are kind of like echoing her face tattoos a little bit.
On the face? Oh, okay. He looks pleased, and you return to the rest of the group. Well, Jedi, who's next?
Spore is just like, just let me get this over with, and walks over, and he has his ram in his hand, and he just like holds it as far away from him as he can, and he takes the blade and he's just gonna like try and stab.
Melee attack for me, please. D20.
Not great.
Same thing.
You stab what should have been a vital area, but as these things are so sweaty and hard to control and so chubby, it goes into the fat of the creature. It howls in pain, thrashes around in your arms, and much like with Pow's, you're soon covered in blood, but the creature's still alive.
So Spore's just like gagging, and I guess he'll just try and like stab it again, just like while being very grossed out.
Once you decide to put your mind to it and make a couple swift stabs in a row, the thing quiets down. You all are reminded of the Broken Bot back at the Broken Bot Diner.
He just like just wiping blood off, like, oh god, no, so unsanitary. And then he goes ahead and reaches down and like takes some blood out and like just draw some stuff on his arms as far away from his face as possible, just like, "Ugh, get it over with."
Voss frowns a little bit, but it seems like that's an okay thing to do as he doesn't stop you, and you can return to the rest of the group.
I'll go next. I kind of turn and look at my brother and I say, gee, this is our mission. We have to do this. And I walk up with holding my little ram.
Remember the Jedi code.
I just kind of give him like a... give him
There is no death. There is the Force.
There is death.
Death yet the Force.
Scientifically.
Lyra, if you will attempt to kill your ram, I will need some kind of attack check on it.
Yep. I'm holding it. I'm assuming I'm kind of like holding it in my arm and I have the knife up. And I would assume, given its previous behavior, it faints.
It is wide awake.
no.
It's looking up at you with
Of
big
course,
eyes.
now it's wide awake.
It tries to swoop forward, the little nostrils on its flat face flaring as it sniffs up at the knife. It smells like other rams. It's curious. It's not scared, though. It trusts you implicitly. It looks up at you.
That's horrible. That makes me feel horrible. I look at it and I say, I'm so sorry, little one. And I... Oh, hang on. Ugh. Make a stabbing motion.
Why are we so bad at stabbing? Like,
I don't
terrible.
like killing.
Stage fright.
In much contrast to its fainting nature that you have observed so far, when the blade goes in, the creature's eyes go big. It can't make any noise with that okay of a roll. It's certainly not dead, but the blood will trickle down its side. It's stark. It doesn't know what's happening. It looks to you for guidance.
Quickly try to take it out of its misery again.
Yeah. And that is exactly what you do. Its eyes will kind of flutter, and it'll go limp, just like it's fainting, like you used to.
Mean. Then I kind of look at it and I say, I'm so sorry. And then I dip 2 fingers in its blood and I drag them over one eye. And like kind of
John's
down.
gonna be so much in trouble when you guys get back. He looks up at the last 2, Esla and Giovanna. It's
Wow.
good to see at least one of your kind. Blue one is a warrior.
While they were all murdering the sheepy sheep, Ezla was having a moment with Fluffy. She wants to try to kind of like get that bond going again that they had while cuddling. Does she still get the feeling that he wants to kill all humans?
Roll me some kind of empathy or affect mind check.
The other, like the empathy again. Yeah, I could do that.
Yeah, let's see what you get.
I took it for reasons for telling fortunes. Oh,
With a 21, you can feel his need to seize the means of production. You can feel his want to see the stone structures of Citadel crumble. But you can feel he's not coming from a bad place.
yeah.
He wants equality. He wants wealth to be redistributed. In his own messed up way, he thinks that he's doing the right thing. He's on the side
Yeah.
of good.
No, I
He's a
totally
freedom
get
fighter.
it. That's why I robbed that casino. Spread the wealth, baby. So I'm gonna be like, all right, Fluffy. See where you're coming from. And I get it. I really do get it. You wanna stick it to the man. It's cool. But I do hate to break it to you. You are a sheep.
He
And
closes
you
his
don't.
eyes in a moment of introspection.
I know. You don't have opposable thumbs. That's gonna make it a lot harder to just overthrow the hierarchy. But I feel like through this ritual, you're gonna be in my heart always. And I considered letting you murder me first, as like the first of many, but and now that I see your master plan, I don't think that's gonna get you anywhere. So instead, we're gonna go through this ritual, and I will do my best to see through your goals.
He will inhale, and he can't speak. You can just read his surface
I
emotions.
feel his emotions.
But if he could speak, he would say he understands that you're just doing what you have to do, just as you'll understand that he has to do what he has to do.
All right. We're in this together, Fluffy. And I will walk up with Fluffy. I was still considering just handing him the knife. Like, all right, Fluffy, we can do this. But after that little moment of bonding, I'll do his best to carry out his goals. Like, all right.
He starts
like, hold my
thrashing
hand
in
out.
your arms. He
I know,
starts
Fluffy, I
thrashing
know.
before the knife even hits your hand. It's tasked over to him, and in one last desperate attempt to overthrow the bourgeoisie, he's going to try to overthrow you. Go ahead and make your attack check against him.
Can I use... I guess I have to use... Can I kind of empower my knife attack with a force strike?
You can. You're going to roll a force strike check,
Okay.
and then you're going to roll the attack check.
Okay. All right. Sure. So that's
With
the
a
force
20,
strike.
With a 20, you feel the force rush through you. Maybe not the same trained way the Jedi do, but just the natural way that you let it bolster you in your time of need, and you will receive a bonus.
Okay. Let me look at my attack bonus. Oh, that's not great. Okay, now let's do the regular attack.
Oh. We are not good.
Oh, right.
I can't see.
17. Despite the force guiding your movements, it is also guiding Fluffy's movements.
Ugh.
As the knife is drawn up, a big horn hits the side of your hand, and he drops to the ground, unscathed. He has a hard time lifting his enormous head up from his chubby body, but he glares up at you with a look of determination in his eyes.
I would glare back, but I can't. So, gonna try to just be like, you can't overthrow the man by yourself, Fluffy! Let me help you!
Roll another attack check.
Okay. I would get the ram. Oh!
Ooh.
The tables have turned. He will not go out without a fight. He lowers his heavy head and waddles forward. He can't even really run. He just trot towards you. You can drop down on one knee. The blade goes in one side of the throat, draws a thin line, pulls out the far side. Fluffy goes limp.
Sorry, Fluffy. It's for the best. Then, like, we're drawing on ourselves, right?
Normally no help, but if help, blind. I mean, boss. Do you need help?
Yeah. I'm really not artistic at all.
He will get down on one knee, shove his two fingers, his index and his
I want an eye.
to the
Like a
gaping
big
hole.
eyeball. Alright? Right here.
That's so great.
Where?
Right in my forehead on an eyeball.
Oh my god.
This could be my seeing eye.
Oh.
He draws one line in an arc and a dot.
He tried.
It feels like an eye, I think. Cool. Eye. It's really hard to draw one's face. So yeah.
He
Alright.
stands up and kind of glances over at the other Ardians, and then hesitantly takes one glance back at Giovanna.
I simply say freedom is the right of all creatures, be they sentient or not. These rams deserve to live. They deserve to live full lives. And with that, I give them the finger and I leave and banish myself and head back to the ship.
Okay, that is your decision. You take your ram with you. Voss kind of bristles and attempts to step forward towards you, but the elder lifts his hand up. His decision to make. You're right, Elder. He's certainly not one of us. Giovanni disappears rather quickly in the sea of heads around you. Eyes turn and watch him more than anyone else. In fact, Voss doesn't even speak up until he is seen walking up the far side of the crater into the tunnels and disappears from sight. Well, the rest of you have all done well. You've all passed the first trial. The second trial will be held as soon as the first concludes. And that's how the rest of the afternoon goes. There's a good 30 or 40 kids that say goodbyes to their rams. Some of the kids are no older than 6. Tears stream down their face, but they try their hardest not to betray their heartbreak and their emotion. Some of the older kids don't seem to mind at all. The second the knife is handed to them, they plunge it in, throw the beast down on the ground, start painting themselves head to toe.
Hey, Lyra. Yeah. Does my eye look cool?
It looks really bloody.
Yeah, but does it look cool? Like, I don't know how to draw a good eye. I can't tell.
I mean, I'd cross the street if I was walking on the same side as you.
Sweet.
The pupil of the eyeball, you notice, is directly where her forehead started hemorrhaging earlier this morning when she had her vision and passed out and collapsed on the floor. It takes a couple hours. Giovanni's probably nearing the end of his trek back home when the kids are all finished. The warriors will exit the building. The adults, the ones not wrapped up in the same robes as the rest of the Ardians, but the ones wrapped up in cloths, leather strips, adorned with weapons. And they are carrying not wooden, but hardened, fungus-made crates. They set them down in front of the pool. The children start to gather around. The crates are opened, and you see weapons, the same kind they used to kidnap you the first time you came here. There's no blowguns, but there are knives, clubs, sticks, staves, whips, pretty much any simple weapon you can imagine. The kids instantly leap forward and start trying to dig through the crates, but they're shoved back. Combat will begin shortly. You 4 don't know our ways. We are a family and we must stick together always. We will tolerate, even from family, no murder. You mustn't fatally harm your opponent, you understand?
I understand.
That's good to know.
She nods.
Boss will stand and look over you all. I think I pick that one. He points to Pow. To go first. You show strength and initiative. Pick your weapon. Also,
she'll take.
I will have you roll a plain d20, no modifiers. This is going to just determine what kind of opponent he's going to pick for you. High is strong, low is weak. With a 14, you'll be going up against a 14-year-old. A little bit older than the average kid going through these trials. They've obviously been through it before. And they choose to go. Their weapon out of the crates is a multi-headed whip. Has one handle, branches off into a few ends, and each end has little hooks, it seems, attached to them, running up and down the lengths of the leather.
Alright. I'll just take a club.
You take a club, they motion to the bloody pool in front of you. And you see your opponent step inside.
Do the same.
You walk into the pool. You stand a good 20 yards in front of your opponent. I need you to roll initiative for me.
All right. It's 2. Oof. 4. All right, I'll get those out of the way.
With a 6, they beat you.
Oh, wow.
What is your defense?
My defense is... Let me just get that on the new sheet. Defense is 16.
They get around 14. They move well. They've obviously used one of these before, and they know what they're doing. They're not going to hurt themselves with this, even though it's a more complicated weapon. That being said, you're also trained. You can easily step out of the way as there's a snap. Your body just instinctively steps to the side, moving closer to them, but avoiding the blow altogether. It is your turn.
All right, I'm going to try and, use that dodge to kind of get close and try and hit them with the club.
Roll me an attack check, please.
Okay, +4. Please. Cool.
20 is a hit.
Okay.
You can roll me 1d12 if you don't
Okay. Oh, there you are.
With an 11, the battle is over just as it got started. There's a snap noise in the air, and the rest of you can all see that Mandalorian training being put to the test. Not just being put to the test, but excelling. There's a pop as the whip cracks, and as it cracks, the club is making contact with the side of the 14-year-old Ardian's head. The boy drops his whip, goes kind of limp, falls forward into the water on his face. Voss jumps into the water, startled, but the boy is pushing himself back up to his feet before Voss can get over to him. Very impressive, what I would expect from a Jedi and a warrior. Even though you knocked out one of his people, he has some kind of sense of pride in you, you feel. As you leave the pool... Oh, go ahead.
Oh, she says, "Thank you, but I'm no Jedi." And I go back.
You resume your place on the perimeter of the pool. A couple of the Ardians fight first. The rules not to try to kill anybody. You wouldn't know watching them. They're ferocious, they're feral, but even the youngest among them are talented. Eventually, Voss's gaze, going around the crowd, will go up to the tallest person here. Let us see how the Metal Man fares.
Oh.
You can do it, Robot Mom!
Ugh. The Spore's just like, ugh, God. Ugh. Okay, I'll go ahead and... Yeah, he just like steps into the pool and he's like, this is awful. This is the worst. Alright. So I just gotta roll a d20, right?
Yeah, to just kind of determine your luck.
No! No!
You're being put up against the tallest that they have as well.
Oh, no.
You still loom overhead. But though you have the advantage height-wise, they definitely have the advantage width-wise. It is a woman, and her biceps are almost as round as your torso. She doesn't look as feral as some of the others that you fought. She grabs a stick, almost as tall as her, steps into the water, and gives a little respectful bow of her head towards you. Do you grab any weapons?
Spore rifles through for the least gross-looking thing, like with no blood on it. Hopefully, just the cleanest item, whatever that is.
Let's say you find a relatively long sword. This sword would be a two-handed weapon to anybody else, but you have enough control over your long limbs. You can hold it in one hand.
Spore's just terrible with melee, but it's fine. Oh, goodness. All right.
There are other weapons. There's ranged weapons. There's slings with rocks, and there's...
He picks up a sling then. I'll go for that. I thought it was all melee, so...
You will grab a small leather strap and a handful of small metal objects. Be them ammunition for something else or daggers or whatever, you just grab some. And I'll have you roll initiative.
Oh, I don't think that worked. There we go.
You leap into action at the exact same time. But I'm going to have you conduct your round first, because you're ranged and further away.
All right. Great.
You flick the little sling around and let go. The chunk of metal flying and splashing into the water to your side. This woman bull rushes you with her staff. And what is your defense?
It is 13.
They will hit you for 6 damage.
Oh boy.
As it comes in, they give a poke or two forward, testing your resolve and your strength. When no air seems to be knocked out of you by getting poked in the chest, she grins. The tip of the staff you're watching closest to you disappears behind her back and comes around the other side, crashing you in the side of the head.
This is the worst. This is not what I signed up for. Oh.
It is your turn again.
Oh my gosh.
Oh God.
You don't seem to be having any luck. Perhaps this time your calibrations would have made it hit, but she's not letting you get an attack off. Now that she's started her flurry, she is on top of you, and she is not letting you escape.
This is not what I was made for. I'm terrible at this.
A lot of the blows would harm lesser creatures. There's just pinging of metal as this thing hits left, right, shins, arms, chest. That first blow to the head still throwing you a little off. The rest,
You can do
not
it,
so
Robot
much.
Mom!
Do you try again, Robot Mom?
I believe in you!
I guess I just look around like, do I have a choice? Like, I guess I'll try again.
You leap backwards, giving yourself enough room to fling something forward. I will say, go ahead and roll me a d8. You make contact. The chunk of metal hits square in the chest. It seems to have some kind of impact on the woman, but it's not enough to stop her. She's going to leap forward again. The blows not doing any damage seems to be frustrating her. She's focusing less on defense now and just kind of aggressively left, right, ping, ping, ping. You can have advantage on your next attack. She's kind of let her guard drop.
Ooh, boy. All right. Oh, okay, well.
The 13 will be enough to hit her. Go ahead and roll me the d8 again. Blood is trickling out of her nose as it makes contact with her face this time. Her little ring of horns around her head makes a big crown. She will lift up, wipe the blood away from her nose, and she will give it one last try. Is a 15 enough to hit you?
Yeah.
You take 1 damage
I'm okay.
as it pings. The woman will kind of sigh, look over at Voss, and drop her staff in the water next to her. Voss nods. A wise warrior knows when they are outmatched. You did well too, in your own way, I suppose, Metal Man.
Get it, Robot Mom!
What just happened? Just looks around like, did I win? Are we done now?
Ezla, roll me a d20, please.
Oh no, this is bad.
Don't roll a d20. Oh.
Ah!
You're
Why are
going
we
up
rolling
against a
right
girl
now?
too. She's younger than the last one, but
Bring it!
a little bit older than you. I will have you
I
roll
put
me.
my whole, 4'6", 80 pounds, and I wanna stand in one of my stances. Can I stand in one of my stances?
You certainly can if you tell me what kind of weapon you're going to be using.
I'm gonna have a staff, like a walking stick, my regular.
They will
what
allow
I'm
you to
accustomed
use. They will allow you to use your your own walking
Hey.
stick after closer inspection, and as long as there's no electronics or lightsabers or anything in it, you're
It's
good to
just a
go.
stick. I've had it since I was 6, 4, 5-ish.
Go ahead and roll me your initiative check.
On an initiative. Okay, this will be great. Now I'll roll really low. Yep.
You are stepping into the water when whispers of
Tap, 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 tap.
Jedi go around the crowd.
I'm just
This
tapping my
girl
way.
you're facing doesn't seem in any way opposed to hitting a blind girl. As your feet touch the water, she leaps at you.
Oh goodness. Oh, and I'm in my oh my god, look at the name. My offensive defensive, my Nimon stance.
That does not matter. She gets a nat 20.
Oh great!
She has
awesome.
an axe. And the axe sinks into you.
I'm sure it does.
Stop getting hurt.
The second you step into the water, she leaps forth, the axe sinking into your shoulder, dealing 16 damage.
Oh my god!
Spore wants to try and run in and quickly heal her. He's just like, no!
Do you have health left after that, Isla?
I do, actually.
Voss sticks a hand out in front of the metal man. We won't let anyone take too much damage. Nothing permanent.
Alright, well... I'm not actually
Esla
getting hit.
is going to do this fight. I do want to let chat know that there's the first viewer decision of the session. I want you guys to come up with Lyra's opponent. She is a Jedi Guardian. She is a master of physical hand-to-hand combat.
Perfect.
Let's see what kind of opponent you guys can come up with for Lyra to fight. Meanwhile,
Ow!
Esla, apparently you're still standing.
Ow! That hurt a lot. That probably also maybe a little bit, like, she probably goes back into, like, street kid mode with that. Like, she hasn't been hit like that since beat up in the back alley by a bunch of bullies with her money. So she's gonna make an attack with her quarterstaff, and can she back it up with a force strike just out of, like, frustration and be like, ugh! No!
If we are using frustration, then by all means, please roll me a force strike check.
Yeah.
Let the hate flow.
You feel even more bolstered than last time. Roll your attack, please.
Okay, cool. Now I'm gonna roll really shitty again. I'm gonna roll good on every force strike. And then on every attack. 15?
Does that include your Neatman stance you're standing in?
Oh no, it doesn't. So it'd be 16 with my stance.
A 16 is plenty to hit.
Good.
Especially augmented with that frustration you're using.
Yeah.
Roll me your damage. Walking stick. I've been kind of using a generic D8 for these. Go ahead and use a D8.
Okay. 3. And then I think the force strike's like 3d4.
With another 9. Just like when the opponent earlier was using a whip. You take a stance. Lyra, you can recognize this as a Jedi's stance. She's been taking her training very seriously. Before people learn other stances, normally they train with the Jedi for years. They have to go through being a youngling, a Padawan, but her stance does well. And her little walking stick makes the same snapping motion as it breaks the sound barrier as a whip would. It makes contact with the head of this person. They lean to the side, their feet leave the ground, and they don't reconnect with the water. They land outside of the reflecting pool.
Can I say, did I hit?
They are unconscious. Voss, are you okay? Are they? He runs over, kind of presses on her chest a little bit. Esla Jedi, you are okay?
I feel like I've lost a lot of blood. But it appears to be the trend for the past couple of days. A robot, Mom!
The rest of you can see there's a bit of a difference between the dried ram's blood and the blood of the Ardians, or in this case, the Miraluka. The ram's blood's dried. It's very dark, it's almost black. And it's not washing away with the splashing of the water or the introduction of new blood if a hand wipes the forehead. It stays exactly the way it was when it was drawn on. Eventually, Voss will rouse this girl. She will run over, jump, will heck off that she is not fighting the Starship Enterprise.
Bring it.
Yes.
She will jump back into the water. Some of the Ardians gasp. She runs towards you, grabs your arm, and guides your hand into hers. And she will give a very firm squeeze and jostle you up and down.
I squeeze back, questioningly.
You can sense a smile from the vague blob of energy that you can sense in her face. She will let go and return to where she was. Voss, half in the pool, expecting to have to pull you two apart, steps back. That just leaves one viewer decision. Has anyone, Kiana, were you able to put that up into a straw poll? I want to see some votings going on, if we can. If not, I will write one up really quick. Lyra, you're not allowed to use a lightsaber here. You do need to pick a weapon from theirs. That being said, you can find sticks, swords, all kinds of comparable weapons.
Are the swords made of metal, though?
They are keened stone. They're not made out of metal, but they are light.
Okay.
They're lighter than the average sword, closer to that of a lightsaber.
Okay. I think I'll go with one of those.
As the voting is coming in, there are some fluctuations. Starship Enterprise is in a close second. But it seems...
I might need a ranged weapon then.
It seems, at least for now, that the voting's calmed down. You're fighting a giant of a 27-year-old man who uses a club to beat things with. There's a man older than Voss. You assumed he was one of the warriors, but he steps forth into the pool. This man is wielding a club. It's not so much of an actual weapon that they've created, rather than just some kind of stalactite he appears to have pulled off the ground. Or stalagmite. Jury's still out on that one. And I will need you to roll me initiative, please.
Ugh. Lyra's not afraid, but she's just sizing him up. Like, okay.
With an 11, he will go first. This man, as he steps into the pool, you can see, only has one arm. But he's able to wield this stalagmite, or stalactite, just the same. His muscles on his one remaining arm, they're as wide around as you. He will leap forward. And you can tell me what your defense is.
It's 15.
He is going to hit you, then. He's testing you. You are very much smaller than him. It seems they don't have any kind of gender bias here. But you're young and short and small.
I'm not sure.
Instead of swinging it over... This is a giant of a man. He looks down at you, despite being 6'2". He will just kind of poke you forward with it before swinging it over his head. It knocks the air out of you a little bit, dealing 1 damage. But it's your turn.
Okay. Can I assume an aggressive stance?
You certainly can. The
And then,
weapon you're using like a sword drops to your side. Your wrist more languid, but more liquid, flexible, and quicker. Snap up to strike this guy. Let's see your attack roll.
Oh, I'm not using the weapon anymore?
You are. You're using a different stance. It's
Oh.
visible. They can see you standing differently.
Okay. Yeah.
A 24 is plenty to hit this guy. Go ahead and roll a d8 for me. The 4 damage. You make a solid blow on this man. He can't defend his left side very well, not having an arm there. So your blow lands. It cuts the skin. He starts bleeding. But he doesn't wince. He doesn't shout out. He just smiles at you, knowing that you and him are on the same page now. And he doesn't need to worry about hurting you. An 8 is probably not enough to hit you.
Mm-mm.
It takes time for him to rev the stalagmite up. He starts swinging it in a big circle over his head. You're able to get another blow, perhaps. Roll again.
Jump out of the way.
The 22 hits. You guys see the fabled fighting skill of the Jedi. Pow! You can even see speed and movement comparable to that of your own. Go ahead and roll your damage again, Lily.
Again, 4.
Another solid rod pierces the man's skin. He looks excited. You will leap forth. I don't believe an 11's enough to hit you, though.
Nope.
He is clumsy. Perhaps that's why he is still performing this
Maybe
test.
that's why he lost his arm.
It's probably why he lost the arm and why he's still taking the puberty test at age 27.
Burn.
Lyra, you are up.
Can I grab my sword again and imbue it with kind of like a force strike? Is that a thing?
Yeah, please roll me a force strike check. What's that total result? Was that the 15?
15. Mm-hmm.
With a 15 on your force strike skill, you will be bolstered. And I will need you now to roll another attack check.
Yeah.
The actual trying to hit him this time.
I rolled it and it landed on a 15 and my modifier is 8, but it's not showing up. You want me to roll it again, or?
Looking at the rules, we're using force strike totally wrong. So anybody who's upset about the rules, we will get that right next time.
Do you want me to just roll it again? It's like my dice is like freezing on there.
Oh, give it a try.
I got a 15 with a mod of 8 as well on top of that.
Well, let's just roll the damage then.
Okay. What die would you like?
The D8, please, if you're still using that same sword of theirs.
Yes. It showed up as 8 on mine. It's not rolling on.
Yeah, I see that. I'm not getting any
Fantasy.
updates.
Yeah, I got an 8.
With the 8, you've done a total of 16 damage to this guy. Plenty to knock out any of the other children. Him, on the other hand, he's not going to give up so easy. And with his +5 to attack, this guy still hasn't rolled above an 11.
Nope, misses.
Roll me a reflex saving throw, please. The stalagmite drops into the water at his side. He dives forward, trying to tackle you down to the ground. You're able to slip around the left side of his body with that 21. He splashes forward into the water, starts trying to push himself back up, and I will give you another chance to hit him with advantage this time.
So I slip around and then I just kind of like whack him right from behind, and I got a nat 20 on one of them.
Nat 20, you did. With the nat 20, you can describe to me however it is you defeat this man.
Knowing that I don't want to kill him, I would just like nimbly dodge around his left side and bring up the butt of my sword and just whack him super hard into the side of the head and knock him out.
His body doesn't go limp right away. He still puts up a little bit of a fight, but eventually his one good hand slips. His face hits the water. Voss will, 15 seconds later, step into the water, give you a nod. Not as good as the other Jedi, but not bad.
She just glares at Voss.
Voss will help this man up out of the water. The man, when he comes to and starts standing up, coughs as water pours out of his sinuses. And then the area around you will echo with a hearty laugh. He stands up and gives you a nod. You don't need to know his language to know that he's having the time of his life.
I nod back at him.
That will conclude our warriors' trials. There's only one left. The trial that the Elder gives you. Those of you who are still here have done well. He will make assumingly the same announcement to the rest of the Ardians. The Elder, without looking over at you guys, will start walking up the stairs to the little building. He goes in through the front doors and disappears inside. Boss turns to you. Our guests have been going first. It's only right you go first again now. You've done well so far. Which of you would like to try the Elder's trial?
I guess I've been going first every time, so I'll go.
There's a huge grin across his face. Somehow I knew. You are alone. You're sent up the stairs to the front door and you step inside of the building. The building is circular and it's open air. You can see little archways, little doorways to rooms here and there around the perimeter. But the big empty space in the middle here, you can see the Elder. He's sitting cross-legged in front of a small cauldron, it seems. It's bubbling. Little strands of steam rise up. He stirs it with the same stick he was using as a walking stick, and will occasionally reach to small pots around him, grabbing grasses or fungus and throwing them inside. Impartial. Supposed to not pick favorites, but knew the Jedi would do good. He motions to his little pillow, little cushion, sitting on the other side of the cauldron in front of him. Sit. If you can walk. Third trial. Leave. If you can walk, leave, you pass.
All right. I'll sit on the cushion and just follow his instructions.
As you do, his left hand reaches forward and grabs a bunch of little red fronds. They're too stiff to be grass. And as he throws them into the cauldron in the middle, billowed smoke pours forth. It is purple. It changes drastically to red. Not just the stuff issuing from the mouth of the cauldron. The smoke itself, the entire thing. As it changes from a green to a blue. It's in your face. It's all around you. It blocks your vision. You can no longer see the Elder. I need you to roll me a Constitution saving throw. A Fortitude save.
All right. My God.
With a nat 1, you're having bad luck today.
I'm having bad. This is the worst I've ever rolled in anything.
Like you're a fantastic warrior, but
Just-
oh wow.
It's a bad day. It's a bad day.
And you have a plus
You start
9. Yeah.
you start coughing and sputtering. It burns, going in your nostrils, going in your mouth, your lungs, on the way down. Your vision blurs and goes fuzzy. You find yourself face down on the floor, trying to catch your breath. As you look up, the room around you is entirely gone. There is no smoke. There's no Elder. You're in a ship. A terrible, awful ship. This is a piece of junk. It's falling apart. There's metal panels hanging from the ceiling. There's wires sticking out everywhere. You see two men that you recognize. There's the Twi'lek, the old man with the breathing apparatus and the beard. The one that brought you and inducted you into the Jedi Order. The one that met you on Coruscant and took you off planet. He's talking to Javan. Neither of them seem to see you. Neither of them acknowledge that you're here. Look, man, I really don't know about this. I tried this student thing once. It didn't go well.
Rom, I'm begging you, Javan. It's very, very important that you take this one on. I have a feeling.
You owe me one. I'll do my bestest, but you owe me for this. Understand, Gon?
Oh, yes. Perfect, fantastic. I understand. And the same way you understand that all of this information is completely proprietary. But I told you, you can't let Pao know. She must never find out. You understand me?
Yes, of course. You're coughing and sputtering, trying to catch your breath once again. As you look around, you see a big pair of brown eyes peering into yours. Breathing. Not dead. You feel his walking stick poking into your side. Other trials, other people to do the trial. Up.
I'll try my best to get up.
It takes you a moment, and the rest of you see Pao staggering out of the same building she entered through the same entrance exit. 15 minutes later.
Yeah, she just looks
Some of the
ill.
kids gasp. She's pale, looks a little ill. Voss gives you a moment to talk amongst yourselves before...
Hey, Belle, how'd it go?
It was awful.
You sound awful.
She's just kind of like, she's trying to say something, but it's just like, she's kind of like coughing and kind of like kind of heaving up a little bit too. Like she's totally out of it.
Do you require medical attention?
Like she just shakes. She'll just kind of like put her hands on her knees and just kind of like try and breathe.
And I will eventually.
Yeah. You always do.
Yeah, I guess. It's been the trend lately.
I put my hand on her shoulder and I say, but the important thing is that you did it. I knew you'd be strong.
She'll kind of cough and just kind of like, can just kind of see her head kind of like nod up and down a little bit. She's still trying.
And I like squeeze her shoulder and then take my hand off her.
Does anyone not want to go next?
I'll go.
Okay, well, that was easy then.
Lyra, you walk in, and it's the same scene I described earlier. There's a big open circular room. There's ways to the left and right, but you just go forward. The elder's stirring his stew, his dinner on some kind of cauldron. Same rule as everyone else. Sit down. If you leave unassisted, pass.
She nods and she sits down.
He reaches into a bowl on his left-hand side, picks up some red fronds and throws them into the cauldron. The smoke billows all around you. Fortitude saving throw, please.
It's not rolling for me.
Oh no, you're not.
We got that one now.
Oh, because that was like the third one I did.
With an 11. Do make sure that your dice is like, if you're clicking the dice to get it in the chat window, like I don't know. We got it to work.
Yeah,
That's the important part.
It's lower than my first one.
Oh, sure.
I like 2.
With an 11, you will start coughing and sputtering as the colorful smoke fills your respiratory system. You see the color changing soon leaves just the smoke, and the floor around you, the walls start changing colors. Giovanni is talking behind you. You wheel around instinctively, wondering if he's come back or if he's trying to interrupt your trial. He's walking, but he's not moving. He's walking in place, standing at the back end, right next to the doorway. You came in. There's a man you don't recognize walking with him. He's a human. He's extremely tall, about on par with you and Giovanni, anyway. You don't feel the words escaping your mouth. In fact, you're just trying to breathe. Trying to catch your breath, but you can hear your voice. Giovanni, this isn't right. What are you doing? Stop. Come back. We're Jedi. He turns his head and looks at you. No. We've never been Jedi. You're a Jedi. You stay at the temple. You do this. I've never been a Jedi. I don't belong there. He walks forward and disappears from your vision. The man he is walking next to, He's wearing tight-fitting clothes, military garb. He has his hair buzzed tight to his head. You see the symbol of the Republic Army. He gives you a shrug, malevolent smile. Turns his head and walks out the doorway, leaving the room. Conscious? Awake? You'll feel the walking stick start to prod you a little bit.
Like, ugh.
Can't carry you out of here.
I kind of look around, still thinking I'll see Geo, and I slowly try to stand up and walk
You
out.
work your way to your feet. You don't see any smoke in the room. The room's completely clear. You're a little wobbly. The effect it had on you is less physical than maybe emotional. You can find the doorway and you can walk out of the room just fine. To the rest of you, about 11 minutes have passed. When Lyra returns,
Hey, Lyra!
looking quite the same as Pow was.
How you doing?
She seems a lot more quiet than usual. She's like, I'm alright.
That's better than
I just
bad.
nods.
All right. Robot mom.
Yeah,
Wanna go or
I'll
you
go
wanna go?
next. I'll
Oh,
go
okay.
next.
You want to get
Let's
this
get
over?
this
That's
over
fine.
with.
I can wait.
So Spore goes into the hut.
Spore needs to... Oh, that is a sentence you gotta be careful with in the Star Wars universe. Spore needs to lean over, kind of hunched, to not rub his head against the ceiling in here. He walks forward, sits down. Not sure how trial works on Metal Man. But you're no Metal Man. Not normal, anyway. But who normal? Roll me a fortitude saving throw.
Oh boy.
Oh my. Okay.
Oh, I thought that was a 1.
Oh no. A little better than that.
He throws some fungus into the cauldron. Your scanners know fungus better than anyone else in the galaxy. The stuff is pretty poisonous, congested orally, like you eat it. A little bit of steam and just a little bit of smoke billow out. No more than already had been. He takes a big breath in through his nose. How do you feel? The steam is white, the smoke's a little gray.
I still feel gross. Do you have anywhere where I can wash my hands?
You are... Sorry, no words. Guardian? Family, yes.
Well, these children were forced upon me, but I am technically their guardian.
Metal people built tools. You're a tool. Are you a
I'm
tool?
not sure if I should be insulted.
help? Or hurt?
I'm a medical research droid. I help people. I heal them. That is what I'm programmed to do.
Not entirely sure. May leave anytime.
Okay, yeah. Thank you. He just gets up and walks out like,
Spore leaves after about a minute and a half.
Wow, Robot Mom, that was the best!
yeah, everything's great.
Awesome, my turn! Oh, wait, man.
Voss doesn't go to help you up the stairs.
Smells good!
He lets you waddle up on your own volition. As you enter the building, the village elder, as always, is pretty clear. He's easy to see. You can see the cauldron in front of him, too.
Hey, what you cooking? Smells good.
Interesting.
Oh my gosh, is this a food trial?
Not often. Smell good. Good omen. Very, very omen good. Sit down.
Love omen. Alright. Tap, 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 tap.
Trial 3. Walking. If you can leave, walk, pass. Leave building, no help. Win. Family.
Alright. Cool.
His
That's
little
great.
left hand reaches down, grabs the red fronds, throws them to the blazing cauldron in front of him. And you can see every detail about the colorful myriad
I can see the colors.
Rainbow.
That's fancy. Yeah. I don't usually
that
see it
soon
many colors.
engulfs you. And I need you to roll me a fortitude saving throw.
Oh, no. Oh no.
With your nat 1, you collapse onto the ground. Everything goes black. The smoke disappears.
Oh no, am I gonna see Tumor Man again?
You look up. There's no feet standing in front of you, but a few inches off the ground dangle the ends of veins, just suspended in midair. You hear your own voice whispering inside your head. Why do we have to? Can't we just kill him? You look around. You're on a spaceship. A spaceship you've seen before. You recognize the little tunnel. The bridging gap between two spaceships. This is the Grand Mistress's spaceship, or at least it was before it was stolen. You look around to gather your bearings. There's a boffin. And he is cowering. Your friend Kier is cowering. He's rolled up into a little ball, sitting in the corner far away from the cockpit and the controls. It's only the two of them in the room. You don't see anybody else, but you can hear another voice booming out from behind the man. Or the tumorous mass. I thought she was gonna have one of them holocrons or something. Yeah, holocron, same thing. Well, instead we find this thing. Your voice whispers to yourself again. You're rid of him.
The Tumor Man? Leave Kier alone! Stop it! Try to interact. Try to, like, get in front of Kier. I don't know if I can move around, but I'm sure gonna try.
It's like you're suspended in midair. You can wave your hands and legs around. It's not like swimming. You can't push yourself forward. The mass kind of
Yeah,
starts
try.
turning its head away from Kier,
Oh.
over in your direction.
Just kidding.
Hey. He knows the Force. Shit, I can feel it. Yo, the council needs as many helping hands as possible, huh? The tumor's head snaps
Leave
back.
Kier alone! Stop it!
You hear your own voice whispering in your head once again. I'll train this one. His veins, his tendons, his ligaments, his capillaries, his arteries, they're perfect. He doesn't know it yet, but he's perfect.
What?
You find yourself sputtering for air. Instead of levitating, you're face first in the cold stone. A walking stick's poking your side. Hey!
Oh my god, Kier! Ah!
No!
Where?
Hakeem!
Just bless you! Where? Is there a tumor man here?
Time up. Must hurry.
Okay. Am I bleeding? Am I bleeding from my ears? Am I bleeding? Just check me.
Many blood.
Okay. No, like new blood?
Always.
Okay. Cool. Huh. Hey. It's great.
You scurry out quickly. Voss is pacing. She was in there upwards of 35 minutes. The rest of the kids, the Ardians, look extremely bored. They're starting to shove each other. They're letting down their super erect good posture. But there's a collective sigh of relief when Ezla comes out. Rare. This many people passing the third trial in a row. But what do you expect from Jedi? You guys, Ezla looks worse than any of you.
Alright, I kind of go and help her back, like, kind of help her walk back to us.
Hey! How you guys
Hey.
doing?
How are you doing?
Great! Everything's fine.
You look like you're gonna pass out.
I probably am.
I'll carry you, I guess.
Yeah, I could put her on my back again. Carry her.
Yeah.
Lost a lot of blood. That may or may not be bleeding from the ears. I don't know. It's cool.
You
It's
almost die
fine.
every time we do something.
I like to live dangerously.
Please don't.
I look at
Please
Spore.
stop that.
I just
Yeah,
look at
please
sports
don't.
like, oh no.
Mm-mm.
Can I like without
No.
Yeah.
He like looks over his shoulder. He's like, "Don't do it."
Just do it.
Oh wait,
Spore,
oh
look
wait,
over
oh
here.
wait. Until Spore's not paying attention to me. I'm just being like real still, real chill, real well behaved. And I'm
But
gonna-
some of the fungus that are growing on me are very poisonous. Please do not.
like which
Yeah, they are.
ones? Was that about this one?
As far as you're concerned, all of them.
Okay.
The
No
warrior
excuse.
caste here don't seem to live in the actual domiciles, the architectured houses crafted out of the fungus. There's little tunnels and little caves. That's where Voss leads you. There's some kind of big table. You can see power cords, signs of technology, but there's a big tarp laid over it. He seems to ignore it completely, pulling you all far back into the recesses of the cave. He sets down his big axe, and he pulls out an actual steel knife. It seems to be made out of the same Durasteel material as the axe. this not being Ardian made whatsoever. He unsheathes it, takes the blade up to his face. He sniffs at it, then turns. Other kids are funneling in slowly. When you pass all 3 trials, you are an adult. We may finish the ceremony. How, friend?
Mm-hmm.
Sister, come forth.
Yep, she'll walk up.
The knife is used more like a razor, as if he was shaving. You don't feel anything.
Mm-hmm.
After he starts gently rubbing it across your skin, on your face, you'll feel the sting of air burning your skin. The blade itself causing no harm. You all see strips of flesh falling to the ground. And from the face, there's lots of blood. It covers the blade, it covers both of Voss's hands. How you hardly feel a thing.
Mm-hmm.
And as quickly as it started, he smiles. And like that, you are family.
All right. Yeah, she kind of puts her hand up to her face. She can kind of feel like where it is, right? Where the
If you actually
cuts
touch
are.
it, it stings very bad. The cuts
Mhm.
are much deeper than they felt.
Yeah, she kind of inhales, and she kind of looks like she's losing composure, and she just kind of stumbles into the corner and just kind of starts sobbing, like.
This is a good thing. Family bonds can never be broken.
She's
You can never
saying
be,
things
you
in.
can never be away from home.
She's saying things in a language probably in Mandarin, so you probably don't understand what she's saying. She's kind of like muttering, well, she's just like sobbing, like ugly sobbing.
Brave face, warriors wear. You've done good today. I'm sure you know better than most. Even if you're far away, you'll always have home, right? His words might not be having the intended effect. But he will step away. Look at the rest of him.
I think she wants to go.
Spore puts her down. Please don't.
You walk.
She's very
You're
delicate.
all right.
I'm great. Fine. It's just. It's fine. A little
Puts
more
a hand
blood loss.
on your shoulder to steady you. You don't feel anything at first. The blade starts shining, flicking in front of your face. Eventually, you'll feel
Not
the
like I could
sting of
lose an
fresh
eye.
air.
I'm not that worried.
You'll feel the sting of fresh air on an open wound. And then the tip of the blade will poke into the center of your forehead. For a second, you see your friend Kier. His fur is matted. His tears are streaming down his face. Then Voss is standing in front of you smiling. Doesn't hurt, does it? You're all done.
Cool.
You feel the warm liquid of your blood just a fountain. pouring
I
from your forehead.
I let it flow down my face in rivulets.
Let it flow over you.
Yeah. I just.
It's just everywhere.
It's okay. This is not bad corn.
My bandages are soaking up a lot of it that cover my eyes. My eye holes.
He turns to look at Lyra and Spore.
I'll go.
That doesn't matter to me. I'll go. Go for it,
When
Spore.
you go, metal shavings go flying. This blade cuts into you like butter. You're sturdy. You're sturdier than the average person, but you see chunks of your body falling to the ground around you.
Great.
The little designs are cut out. They're etched out. And they look pretty permanent.
Oh. I check to make sure they don't, like, mess up any of my decals that designate what type of droid I am. But I announce that a lot anyway, so I guess it's fine if they're not.
Lyra, yours goes similarly to the rest. Can you remind me where you had your blood painted on?
Yeah, I had 2 lines just kind of going down across over my eye and down my cheek.
These lines are not shaved out of your skin like the rest. You get
No.
the blade itself pressed up against your face.
Watch the eye.
You close your eye. You can feel the end of the blade brushing against your eyelashes. In one swift movement, blood is pouring down your face. This stings. But his hand does not leave your shoulder, and you can feel the blade approaching your eyeball again. Pressing up, slipping a little bit in the blood, then being pressed firm against your skin. You were sliced a second time.
I kind of reach up and like touch some of the blood. I'm like, I seem to revel in it almost more, have the opposite reaction of Pow, but I just say, family.
Family. Family always sticks together. With that, he says he has a big announcement. But there's much work to be done. He wishes to make the announcement to you in a day's time, tomorrow. If you need to return home in the meantime, you may. You can come and go as you please freely now. As far as they're concerned, you are native Ardians.
Yay.
Yeah, let's go check up on Javan and Geo. And Rambyton. Rambert.
Remember.
Lyra just keeps staring at your forehead like
I've not touched it at all as I don't want to mar the beauty that I assume that it is.
I just
Everyone
want
is
to like
disgusting. Oh.
yeah. I love this picture. We're all going to go walk over to Javin and we're just going to be covered in blood. Like we did it.
We did it. It's like,
Sorry that I
happened
like
to you,
band-aid.
Oh, I
Well,
just
speaking of
picked
Javan-
this up, like, put
Boy,
you on my
little
back
baby.
again.
Speaking of Javan, I would like to set the scene in a terrible piece of junk ship, panels falling apart, wires hanging down. There's a thud as the landing door opens. Giovanna steps up the loading ramp into the ship. Javan is running a training program. but it cancels the second someone enters the ship and the doors open. He's glistening with sweat. He's taken most of his clothes off. His purple lightsaber is extinguished when you walk in. That was much quicker than I thought.
Yeah, that's what they say about me, Javin.
I'm sensing something.
Well, that probably takes a number of supplements and pills for you, but hey, hang in there, my friend. What's up?
Hey, if there's supplements and pills, they got my name on it.
Well, I'll drink to that when I'm old enough. That is.
A disturbance, ripples. The force, I sense. Angst.
Javin.
Where's your sister?
Oh, she's off getting, scarred with the other sheeple. When I was a child, I used to look at a book, and in this book, the book was full of trees, Javin.
As you
Tall
begin,
trees,
he goes
of
over
course.
and pops 2 Hot Pockets into the microwave, and then comes and sits right next to you on the couch while they cook.
Yeah, okay. There were these trees. They were tall. They were straight. Beautiful by all standards. There was this other tree kind of off to the side. Gnarled, old, twisted, fat. And
Are you
when it
talking
came
about Master Gone?
No, I'm talking
not
about
nice.
tree. But one day the lumberjacks came and they cut down all the trees, the tall ones, the straight ones, and they took them to a factory and they made them into these writing utensils called pencils and toothpicks. And that strange tree? It's still there in the forest, getting stronger and stranger every day. So in life, we have a choice. We can become toothpicks, or we can stay and grow stronger and stranger.
He's quiet for a moment until the Hot Pockets beep in the microwave. He stands up and runs over. Do you prefer completely frozen or boiling lava?
Oh,
only 2 hours.
somewhere in between's usually the sweet spot, but I'll take boiling lava.
There's no in between. I've mastered 7 styles of Jedi combat, but I cannot, for the life of me, microwave a Hot Pocket.
So
It's a delicate art, and one that, watch. I want to attempt to microwave a Hot Pocket to perfect temperature. What do I gotta roll?
Roll a d20.
All right. I finished.
Oh my
I can
god.
blow on the dice. All right. 17.
The
By the way,
perfect
dexterity
number
modifier.
gives
Yeah.
you the perfect result.
Gavin, I want
Little
you to
hiccup
have
right
this
there.
Hot Pocket.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Okay, that's me.
I'd like you to have this Hot Pocket. Am I here? What's going on?
There's just a hiccup. It's good now.
There's a hiccup. He will take his purple lightsaber. Okay, I'll trade you then. He hands you the lightsaber and he takes the Hot
Oh my
Pocket.
god.
Yeah.
Don't eat it.
No, it's cool. Like, I won't. And right through the eye. No, I'm just kidding. We've already made that joke this week.
He returns to the couch and kind of paps the seat next to him, inviting you to sit with him.
Yeah, I sit
I
next
like
to him,
story
and
time.
I invite Rambert to sit between us. Kind of give him a good, cozy. Where's my dog? Come, dog. Yes. So, all right. Do you have stories
'Cause,
now? What are you all about, Javin?
That's an ancient tale. That the audience. I think V Mix is having some hiccups.
Yeah, VMix is having some hiccups. It's scaring me because like Strider starts talking, then he's not talking, and then
Ancient tale.
there's a. Oh, I'm supposed to fill in the blanks. All right, I love ad libs.
There's an ancient tale.
A noun, a verb.
The audience tell it. So don't. Seems fake. It's about those little rams. You see, the rams. They spent thousands and thousands of years naturally evolving to be masters of their climate, to be able to withstand anything. The cold, sun, what have you, out on the surface of the moon. But then they started getting domesticated. They were given strict rules to live by. They had daily regimens planned for them by other people. Over the years, they slowly grew fat, sweaty. Some of these rams, they don't like to live in the rules. Like Fluffy. One day, little boy ram, he was the bestest ram of them all, had the biggest horns, the most handsome dreadlocks, the most fantastic ram by far that there's ever been. Ever. Even though he's the youngest of all the rams, they put him in charge. And he's supposed to show the ropes to the most gorgeous little she-ram you ever did see. Now one day, when the she-ram is killed, that little handsome ram starts choking people and shooting lightning out of his fists. And suddenly the rest of the rams won't talk to him no more. Know what I mean?
Javin, were you this ram?
No, I've never been sweaty or fat. No.
Look good
Feel
for
it,
your
man.
age.
Rock hard.
No, not. Guys, no, I need an adult. Adult, Spore.
I am an adult.
I'm an adult.
All adults now.
Oh, that's true.
Not me. I'm Peter Pan.
In the
You're right.
following few hours, after telling you, that ram, he planted himself away from the others, and he grew twisted and gnarled. And when they cut down all the other rams to make pencils, there he was.
Javin,
Strange stories they tell these audience.
you can't make pencils out of rams. No, this
You tried.
your science is flawed. As I point at him, I'm about to activate the killer Jedi death bot on him.
I don't know how pencils are made. I don't know audience stories or rams. I didn't even know this planet existed.
It's all right.
What I do know...
They'll come back. They'll be part of the family, and they'll, probably have innocent blood on their hands. But hey, we all got something to live with.
I know I do. I might not know pencils or rams or audience, but I know lightsabers.
Yeah, I've got yours. Care to show me how to use it?
Are you sure you don't have mind-reading powers, Giovanni?
No, I took the one where I can move objects. That's
That is way too
character
meta for him.
metagaming joke. Yeah.
And you guys will return a couple hours later. Javan.
After hitting the bar. Because we're adults.
No, we did not.
Doesn't-
We did not do that.
All they shared
The
was
bar
grease.
fight, so much blood.
Javan doesn't set you up with any of those training programs. He tells you you have the same metachlorine count as your sister. So if you're failing tests, maybe you're just not a good test taker. Just spend some time with him. Have some fun.
My estrogen is also very high. There's nothing wrong with that. It's just natural. I'll balance out over time. Fix my diet.
You all return. Giovanni and Javan are shirtless, sweaty, and Giovanni's panting on the sofa.
Don't look at me.
Don't worry, I'm not.
Oh!
What do you look like?
Oh, the force. Oh, the force. Your grand mistress is gonna have me fired.
Why?
I should have went with you.
We're adults
You
now.
see her eye?
Oh,
Yes,
Look
everybody's
at her
fine.
forehead.
Esla, you are aware that you have an eye now.
I have an eye. I know, right? I know it's just one, but I figure maybe if we join a gang, they can nickname me Cyclops or something. So
Halfway there.
yeah, I have an eye now, guys. My all-seeing eye
Everyone's fine. We just need to take showers.
and a band-aid. I have like this huge axe gash right across me.
Oh my god, that's right.
Javan-
Yeah, like,
Javan
So
goes and grabs Bacta, slathers it on his hands, and he'll rub it onto you.
It's not the eye. It's got a scar.
So, have you decided on who you want coming back to represent the audience in the Senate? Who's going to be our diplomat?
Well, we're having a ceremony of some kind or an
Yeah, there's
announcement
like
tomorrow.
there's another
so
thing. We need to continue our evaluation of these audiences. That's a big decision, We've been thinking about it this whole time, and I feel like we just gotta go back in one more day after really thinking on it and finishing this ceremony stuff.
Now that we're members of their family, maybe we can make some headway on this mission.
That's exactly what we'll tell the mistress, yes. You had to do it for the sake of the mission.
Mm-hmm.
Perfect.
Cool.
So a few more days. I'm assuming. Our days.
Yeah.
Not their days.
Some point during this time, I sneak over to Lyra and Pow, and I'm like, hey, you guys want to sneak out when Spore isn't looking at go to the bar?
Spore's already gone and taking a shower. He's
Let's
like,
Oh, now.
I don't know if that's good for your circuits.
it's fine.
Hot oil bath.
Lyra's in, are you in, Pow?
Pow just kind of like shrugs.
Are you in, Pow?
Yeah, I mean that's a yes. I mean she hasn't walked away, so.
Yeah, okay. Alright, let's go.
This is our sneaking motion.
Asla, roll me a d20. Asla has the fucking hangover from hell tomorrow.
Okay.
Who serves
You sleep
the
for like
children?
16 hours.
We're adults.
Oh my goodness. Mm-mm. This is a big planet.
This is not. They're gonna take us away from both of you.
Oh
Don't tell
my.
anybody.
During the terrible Nat 1 hangover that Esla is experiencing the next
Oh no.
day, the sun's never set on this planet. You are all taking turns training in the holodeck. Javan has you guys taking turns watching each other, seeing if you can come up with advice for each other, too, since you all seem so close. Giovanni, are you participating?
In the drinking or the ritual?
I don't think you were invited to the drinking, just into the
No, I wasn't.
training program.
Don't worry, I brought you back, so.
Oh yeah, I'm totally crashing that
That's
place.
an eyebrow wink.
I've seen that Seinfeld episode. I can. Giovanni, a present from you? Yeah, it's like.
While we're giving advice back to each other in the training programs, I look at Spore and I'm like, I think you should practice a lot. That's my advice. You know, because you missed a lot.
Young lady, I am
Nobody
not
tells stories
programmed
about
for combat. I am doing the best with what I was given.
We all
I'm
just
You're
here.
family now. We have like, what? Scream really loud.
In Droid
not my
League,
job.
everyone gets the trophy.
Oh my goodness. Or is just like muttering to himself, like your midichlorian level isn't even that high anyway. What do you know?
Giovanni,
Know all
as
about
they kind of bicker and switch back and forth between their trainings. You're the computer guy. I'll tell you notice something.
Mhm.
Each person, when they're going to train, has certain lessons unlocked or locked based on their progress they've been making so far. The Jedi Knight and Jedi Master lessons, for the most part, are all locked to you because there's serious risk of dismemberment and death. As you're kind of scrolling through, you can spy a couple things. Just scrolling up and down, going and looking at the master lessons. There really is a leaderboard, and even if it's locked, you can see times for each mission. People that complete them, people start dropping off very quickly as you get up towards the Javan training sessions that he uses.
Mm-hmm.
A couple catch your eye. Soon there's only Jedi Council members showing up on the training sessions. Then they start dropping off as well. There's one that is locked at the very, very end, called DE. Just the letters. DE has only ever been attempted by Javan Brishan. It doesn't have a time on it, it just says success. There is one training program after that, Surisu Mastery, the very highest level training program in the entire database. The Jedi Council members, their scores and times are recorded. There is one success, Javan Brishan, at 5 minutes. The second place is the Grand Mistress. She failed after 15 seconds. Third place is the Quartermaster of the Jedi Temple. He lasted 3 seconds. And the rest of the scores hover around 2 to 3 seconds. The thing about this training, this Surisu Mastery, is it's unlocked. There's no password, there's no rank. You can run it.
I'm running it. Don't
The
fear
doors
Reaper.
slam shut. Spore, you're here, everyone's gathered outside. Giovanni's loading one up for him to do. This might draw a little bit of attention, knowing his angsty behavior last week. The doorway, the little computer panel, as the doorway is shut, says loading Camino.
It's not in the archives. Maybe back then it was in the archives.
It is currently in the archives.
Okay.
As the doors open, there's water splashing in to the ship. It is a hurricane in there. You will see almost horizontal raindrops coming in from an angle. Every 5 seconds, they stop and completely change direction. They will do 180 turns, come from below you, come from above you. There's a small walkway. There's a turbulent ocean, waves are slopping up onto the walkway. There's a little light, a little red glow, coming from about 30 yards out. And the instructions are, touch the holocron.
Can I see the holocron?
Your vision it's tough with the rain and the hurricane, but you can see the little red glowing light. It's about eye level.
All right. I know that I'm going to attempt to closing my eyes, but keeping within my mind's eye the red dot that I saw. I want to see if I can use the force to pull the holocron to me. If
Make
there
me a
is
move
in
object
fact,
check.
yeah, if there is in fact a living force between everything, the wind, the rain, the water, all of that will work to help me to bring the holocron to me. I just have to, Bagger Vance this, become one with like the tide, the moon, the earth. So let me double check what my ability for move object is. I get a +6. That is my one and only best force skill, or force feat. All right, don't fail me now. 19.
I don't know.
Did that
Roll a
not pick
19?
up? Yeah, 13 plus 6.
Of course it didn't.
I'll try
Of course
again.
you got a good roll.
Oh.
Well, 15 if I
No,
re-roll
I
it, but I got a 19. Yeah.
I will go with your 19.
Okay.
It takes a moment. You can feel it out there, but it's heavy. It's not even physically heavy. It's just sluggish. It doesn't like listening to you. You stick
But I
your
like
hands out in
listening to
front
it.
of you and you try to coax it over towards you. You'll see the little red light flare, become like that of a flashlight as it flies through the rain and lands directly in your hands. Two things happen when it touches your hands. The little screen says success, 15 seconds. And I need everyone else, including Spore, to roll me a will save.
Oh, goodness.
All right, what is my?
Yeah,
Ooh.
that's my
3.
best one.
Please,
Check
this.
please.
I say best one. I mean, it's not great, but it's better than others.
Oh,
That's you rolled the highest, but also your DC for this save is the highest.
oh,
As this thing flies towards you, you can feel it. And when it makes contact with Giovanno's hands, you feel heavy. The world around you seems darker than normal. The people
Does this
around
remind me
you
of the same feeling from that other holocron?
are harder to see. You've seen holocrons before, and you've been around them. And this one has nothing on that other one you saw.
Oh, wow.
Your vision doesn't go black.
Okay.
You can still move, you can still breathe, you're not filled with any kind of emotion. But you just feel heavy. Lyra. That same feeling when you saw Giovanni leaving. When your family was walking away from you, you feel that again. That feeling when the other Padawans give you funny looks. When they walk away from you, in Jedi mess halls. You feel like an old friend has left and departed. Your body feels heavier than normal. Your movements clumsy, slow. Pal, you feel the same thing. It's not quite as strong with you.
Mm-hmm.
But it's almost like your senses are dulled. Javan walks into the room, and you didn't even hear him coming around the corner before he did. You didn't even see him when he was walking at first. In fact, you only noticed as he walks up. Yeah, what going on here?
Holocrons.
Feel ill.
It's a really
He
heavy
looks-
one.
He looks over into the room, at the screen, at the holocron, in Giovanno's hands. His eyes go big, and a huge grin spreads across his face. 15 seconds! How did you do that? You're completely dry. There's not a drop on you.
Use the Force.
The smile kind of falters a little bit. You went in there and grabbed it, right?
The Force brought it to me.
He kind of slouches back and laughs to himself. I should have known. He touches the computer screen. The door slams shut. The holocron disappears out of your hands. I'm gonna have to wipe this. He clicks on a little keyboard, makes some adjustments, and he clears your time as a 15-second success out of the leaderboards.
What?
He wipes the entire
No.
thing.
Whoa, 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 whoa. You put that back. I'm going to restore this. I got backups. Get out of the way, old man. I pushed him out of the way, and I'm going to start using my computer, use computer skill on it. No.
What's up with the
The
old man?
data's
I'm
still there.
22. Giovanni, this...
Sorry. No.
I mean, 14. 22-year-old man.
10 years
Giovanni,
older than me.
Wasn't
It's
here
not
to be
an
square.
object-moving test. That's not a test of your force abilities.
The
That's a
test
test
is
of
to
the
touch the
Ceresis stance.
holocron. The Force is what moves all of us anyways, man, and you can smell the pungent hot pocket on my breath. Just kind of like, look, the test is to touch the holocron. And you didn't say anything about walk and not be touched by water. And we're putting my score back in there. You Mr. Leaderboard, I'm not doing very good. I might be deleting things. So I got like an 11 with my used
You
computer. So it's
cannot
like,
get it back because he wiped the memory for this entire lesson.
I see how that is.
Let me show
John.
you.
No, I'll
Let
show
me show
you.
you how you do this one.
Oh my gosh. I don't want to see
He
it.
asks you guys to step away from the doorway a bit. Okay, go ahead and start it. As the Camino training boots up, begrudgingly, he will activate his lightsaber. The handle is one of the smallest lightsaber handles you've ever seen. It fits
yeah.
perfectly just in his fingers with a centimeter on either side. It is smooth. It is pitch black. And thank you for the cheer, Yota. You are the off-brand Yoda that we need.
Yoda Cola.
And it is completely blemish-free, save for one small button to ignite the blade. The blade, however, is extended. It's an especially long blade, especially dangerous to use. It's about as tall as Javan is. If he holds his hands up high and flips it down, the tip of the lightsaber will barely not be hitting the floor. Surisu was invented to protect yourself from blaster fire. It is known as a defensive technique, but it can also be used to save yourself in many situations. He takes a deep breath, and he starts swinging the blade left and right. It's about keeping up constant momentum, not starting and stopping. You'll get too tired. One flowing dance. He doesn't seem to be moving any faster, but the white of the lightsaber will kind of start to trail. He starts spinning it around overhead under his arms, the white trail getting longer and longer as he goes. After a moment, there's no longer Javan standing in front of you, but a 6-foot-tall sphere of white light. Slowly, it starts moving forward. You guys give him room. He steps into the rain, into the hurricane. And there's instant hissing and sizzling as the raindrops bombard the sphere. After 3.5 minutes, he reaches the center, walking very slowly. And the training ends. Success. He has one hand on the holocron, and the lightsaber extinguishes as the rain disappears. He walks forth without a single drop of water anywhere on him. Looks down at the computer screen and frowns to himself. 3.5? Thought it'd be faster than that. Ugh.
Yeah, I thought you would be too.
Just will like tap over to Gio and be like, I thought yours was way cooler.
Yeah, I did too. It's okay. Everyone has their own flavor of jazz.
Would some liquor help? I have liquor in my room.
When you
What do we
can
touch?
get out and touch the holocron, that's not a real holocron. You understand? That's dangerous, and my computer can't make them. But what it does do is suppress your natural force abilities. You can't use the force to speed yourself up, to help yourself out, to enhance your senses. That is nothing but skill. And when you can get out there without getting wet, and you can touch that, you will have a perfect defense, and you will be invincible.
Javan, you don't have to worry about... No, I'm not going to make that joke. Yes, master.
Don't say the master thing. That makes you sound like a Padawan. You're not a Padawan. That's kind of awkward. I know what you're gonna say, and it's kind of funny.
So what are you like? Are you like Jedi
Sorry.
Dad? Do we have Droid Mom and Jedi Dad? Jedi Mom?
Mom and Jedi Dad.
No, I'm
like
a
it.
little too young for that, I think.
Oh no, you're like 10 years older than me.
It's really old. Super old.
If I'm a dad, then that means I need to disappear right now. I need to go out for a pack of smokes, and you'll never see me again.
Let's go!
That is morbid.
Then I guess it's just you, Droid Mom.
Spore goes and confiscates your liquor.
No, Droid Mom!
It's all she's got. That and the smokes, and
Put
she's
that
down
in
to
my
2
room.
packs.
You're too young for liquor. Put that in my room. She won't find it there. Just right on my end table. Yeah.
You're too
Yeah,
young
just-
too. Spore is way older than you.
Yeah. I remember back in the day when the droids did what you told them.
Well, this is not back in your day. And Spore goes and throws the liquor bottle out the door.
I like try to catch him.
Javan seems almost as broken up as Esla about it. He's kind of deflated.
Oh, I know what to do. Gonna go lick it up.
No!
Oh, jeez.
I just grab her and put her on my back. Like, no.
I like you.
The training goes as well as ever. Javin doesn't actually spend any time one-on-one training with you guys. Giovanni, your previous couple hours with him withstanding, of course. He goes and spends time in his room with the door locked. He will occasionally leave to the cockpit to make calls back to the temple to make reports. But the days go by with training, and eventually the sun stays set for about, and it'll soon be time for you all to make your way back to the Ardians.
Alright, this time, guys, we can't forget we're actually supposed to be picking a diplomat. I was just so psyched about this cool scar.
Mm-hmm.
I go over to Geo and I say, "Are you okay?"
I pull out one of my Twi'lek cigarettes, light it, take a long drag. Say, yeah, I'm okay, sis. How about you?
I give him like the head tail sign for like, I don't really believe you. But I say, "How's Rambert?"
Alive and fat and sweaty. But he's happy.
Rambert pissed all over my bed!
That was you.
I'm pretty sure it wasn't.
We saw you. You stood while you did it and said, hey, check this out. Not one drop on me.
It didn't look completely dry. You can only do this with extreme amounts of training.
Not where I thought this episode was gonna go.
Hey, Giovanni. We might not be Ardian family members, but how about we take along this time?
Yeah, I'm fine to do that. Are there any robes I should wear since I totally got the high score on that training module? Or do I get a title of some sort?
Do you want one?
Not particularly. I just want to make sure that
I am the battle master. I'm not on the council, but it does come with some perks. I can bestow titles.
Nah, not today.
Are you sure? I have a pretty good one in mind.
I'll take it. Lay it on me, Pops.
Okay. He will go over to his little computer and go into his system of the Jedi analog, the Jedi logs, their other info. Though unable to find a Kazim, he's able to find you relatively quickly. He clicks on it and starts typing. Okay. There, you have been bestowed the title of Padawan.
Ooh. Padawan. I try to hold back, the reverence and respect I feel for this. I flunked out my first go-around with the Jedi, and thanks. Kind of feels good. Finally made it.
All the Padawans are supposed to have a master. Certainly nobody's going to take you with those scores. Those test scores you're getting.
Yeah, how about my sister?
She's not a knight yet. Tell you what, I'll be your master until she's a knight.
Yeah, I think that'd be pretty great.
I run over and just tackle, hug Geo, and I'm like, I'm so excited for you.
I take it.
Geo is
My little head
undeniably
tails.
happy.
Not in front of the droid!
You guys can see him waggling from the head tails, even if he's trying to maintain that cool teen exterior. Javan will let out a little smile. Oh, come on then, Padawan. We got to, protect all these feral heathens. And as
That's me!
Giovanni and Javan step out of the ship, walking side by side, you can't help Lyra but be reminded of the vision you had. Giovanna walking next to a tall masculine figure. You try to, but you can't shake it, even though this is supposed to be a happy moment.
Yeah.
There's a sudden darkness that comes over you.
My smile just kind of falters, and I just not able to speak.
My Padawan robes, by the way, are like a velvet smoking jacket, like robe. Very
Can they be purple?
yeah.
I don't know about that. We'll have to see if they have any of those when we get back to the temple.
It's traditional.
I
Purple
can
velvet.
get one.
As the rest of you begin your trek one last time to the Ardian home. Let's roll fortitude saves to see how you do on the surface of the moon.
Oh no.
I have endurance now, so I can do that now.
17.
Woo!
Ooh!
You all do
I put the sunscreen on.
fantastic. Without even needing advantage. A lot of you do tremendous. Even Spore. Despite passing out last time, it seems there's a certain sense of solidarity. As you move as a group and go together, the smiling faces of the children, Spore, do seem to spur you along somehow, even if you don't like it or like them. You guys arrive with no problems then. You don't bump into a worm. You don't pass out in the desert. You arrive. As you do, Esla, you will find that your vision you had does not come true. As you all approach now as family members, with Javan and Giovanni in tail, the warriors that guard the surface of the moon will hop out, look at them, weapons ready, and then turn their gaze to the lot of you.
They're cool.
They gesture, they smile, and you think they understand as you guys enter with no hiccups.
I kind of have like a moment where I'm just like stood. I'm like, I guess there's a first time for everything. It is. Woo-hee.
You all make your way down to the same cave from yesterday, the one where Voss lives. You see little puffs of smoke leaving, but they're not the same puffs of smoke as the third trial yesterday. It's mechanical. He's running a little generator. All the cords that lead to the table, the tarp in the center of the room, they're plugged in and they're being powered. As you enter, he smiles and I knew you would be here, and his gaze turns to Giovanni and to Javan. He falters. You are obviously the one that sent them here. You are a, what do they call you, a master Jedi? Javan shrugs. This group does seem to have a mind of their own. I didn't think about sending them out here on their own, but they found a way to you anyway. Must have been the will of the Force.
Life finds a way.
I don't like Jurassic Park mixing with Star Wars. You two have to wait up here. Family only inside. You understand?
Javan will shrug as some of the Ardian kids, too young, or those that have failed their trials, come forth and kind of surround Javan, looking at his hair, looking at his big eyes. There's whispers of Jedi in the crowd. But the other 4 of you return to the cave. This was a gift from the last group of Jedi who came here. Master and Brother Kazim. As was this. And he points to the axe on his back. He grabs the tarp in his 2 hands and pulls it off, looking at a table. One that's able to make projections. It's like a 3D computer screen. He will wipe... no dust to wipe off. There's a big cloud of dust as he flaps the tarp. He folds it up and sets it aside. He turns the screen on. Little lights take a while, but they'll eventually kick in. And you guys see a map of Ardia. You see the moon tunnels. You see where you're standing now. You see the city of Citadel. And there you also see a big red X a few miles to the west. You are family. You've proven all of yourselves as warriors. So now it's time for us to protect the rest of our family, as warriors must. He points to the big red X being projected a few miles to your west. Despite... And he kind of instinctively runs his hand down the scars under his eyes. What the last Jedi said. The Republic is not entirely gone. They still have their weapons. They still have their vehicles and their ships. And they're not supposed to be here anymore. That's what the Jedi told us. They're obviously planning something. This here's their stocked base. We will move together as a family and wipe them out. We will chase the Republic from the face of Ardia and ensure our tribe's safety. He turns to the rest of you kids. Some of the other warriors that passed their trials are here as well. He will repeat what he said in Ardian, and they get big grins. Some of the younger ones start bouncing up and down, like this is an exciting field trip. Boss turns to you. Your scars, the blood you shed, you're forever tied to us. You must do whatever it is in your power you can to help protect us. You'll come with us, right? We must kill the Republic. And that's where we're going to wrap up Episode 3. This is the Rise of the Dark Side. I had a fantastic time. I like this 3-hour-long time slot. We can get quite a bit in each session. Hopefully, if you were listening to that and were unable to catch Episode 2, you've been brought up to speed and you have your context now. Let's go around the group one last time, as we always do. Did you enjoy yourself? And more importantly, where can we find you? Kayla, how was tonight's session?
It was really good. There was an embarrassing screenshot taken of me that we're making jokes of on Twitter, so feel free to go check that out.
I haven't
can see
seen
it on
yet.
my Twitter. Yes, find it on my Twitter, which is KAYNCLI, and you can go see my face. It's really weird. I put a slice of pizza in my hand, and
Did you really?
a mushroom, so it's great.
That's
where
what
you
you
find
get
me.
for being. That's what you get for being a streamer now and actually having your face.
I know.
present, you know. Cool.
And I just did an interview with Behold Her podcast. If you guys have not checked that out, it's a great podcast that my friend Lisa does. Shauna was on this episode as well. You can find it if you look for their Twitter. There's a link to it. It's Behold Her Pod. You can find them on Twitter and then get to the episode.
Check that out, and also, of course, check Kayla out as well. I am going to go check out these unflattering screenshots. I think we all have to deal with those at least one point. That's kind of like a rite of passage in streamerdom. Grant, I know you had to take a business call. We seemed to up somewhat well with your absence. I feel like it worked out well. How was tonight's session, though?
Hey, I had a lot of fun playing an angsty teen, kind of Bill Murray the Twi'lek, James Dean-ish. Had a lot of fun. My name's Grant Ellis. You can find me on Twitch at GrantR Ellis. I'm an occasional streamer. On Twitter at WisePapaGrant. I'm an independent content creator for tabletop role-playing games with an emphasis on 5th edition Dungeons & Dragons and Cypher system. On Mondays, I'm on the Greyhawk channel Violent Villainous campaign. Tuesday nights, I'm on Mython with Unmade Gaming. You can catch me here on Wednesdays with Encounter Roleplay Rise of the Dark Side. Thursdays, I'm on WebDM's Land Between Two Rivers. Friday, I'm running Life on Mard on Off the Table. Saturdays, I'm on all sorts of tables. Then on Sundays, I'm on Money Cook Games' official Twitch channel playing the Owl of Lycia. So I'm on all the shows, but not as many as Lindy.
Oh, man. Everyone follow Grant. He is fantastic, and he is a jewel in this community. I'm glad I was able to steal him away from his busy schedule to come spend 3 hours a Wednesday with us. We saw some emotion from Pow tonight. Shauna, you caught Voss off guard a little bit, but you caught me as your DM off a lot. I was trying to do my best to have Voss say the absolute worst things he could to try to reassure you. How'd that go?
It went good. It's interesting, kind of like trying to get through kind of her like hard exterior, but it's fun. I enjoyed all the trials and like how it kind of brought out everybody's like personalities a little bit. But yeah, you can catch me on Flying Cirrus on Power Score RPG's Saturday games, 6:30. We're doing this weekend the Rakma, the Mordenkainen's adventure that's going out to like game stores, and I'm also on Waffle Talk on Tuesday nights at 9 p.m. Eastern time after Dice Camera Action. It's a Dice Camera Action reaction show, and it's re-aired on Thursdays at 7 p.m. Eastern time on the D&D channel. And yep, I'm also on the Encounter RP. I think Encounter RP. I'm sorry. I'm on the Beholder podcast this week, along with Kayla, and Lindy's also on the Power Score thing. So it's enjoy people.
Check that out. We gave a shout out to Encounter RP anyway. Hopefully people know what that is if they're watching us. But either way, follow all of those. Go check out all those shows and check out Shauna in each and every single one of them. Lyra, I was able to drop you some suspicious visions, and you had some emotional turmoil with your brother, which hopefully is not, at least as a DM, hopefully it's not entirely resolved yet.
No, definitely not. I'm very curious where that'll go. It was so much fun to actually see a lot more of the emotion from different players like Pow. I was really surprised and I really liked that. It was a lot of fun. You can find me on Twitter. It's for _DND. I'm here on Wednesdays playing Star Wars with you guys. And then starting next week, I'll be also playing in a campaign called The Dragonborn is Dead. It's the Helheim Unbound RPG with Encounter Roleplay, and that's starting again on next Thursday, the 24th. It's like a Skyrim-based campaign, so it'll be really fun.
Check that out. I'm so jealous. I'm going to try to convince Will to let me show up as a villain or something, at least
Do
one.
it!
One
Do
day.
it.
Ezla, Lindy, how was it?
I had a blast.
More nat ones. I get to drop so many,
So
like,
many.
suspicious, veiny, bad villain
Many
guy
oh
visions
man,
on you.
it's gonna get to the if you couldn't tell, her coping mechanism is bad humor. So it's gonna get to the point where like, oh man, my favorite guy, Superman, man of the hour. But yeah, no, a lot of fun. She's waited this whole time to just get the scars. Like that was all she really wanted from this entire thing was to get some sick scars. And she's happy now. She's like, yeah, and she gets to pull out the adult card if she needs to, but otherwise she's still gonna pull the kid card all the time. Loved it. Can't wait to see what happens next week. Killing the Republic. Screw those guys. It'd be great, right? You can find me online at LaughLoveLindy on Twitch and Twitter. Sunday nights, you can find me at Grimjack21502's channel, Pulp Cthulhu, with the lovely Strider as well. Super awesome. Tuesdays, Tomes and Tentacles podcast from Encounter Roleplay. It's Pulp Cthulhu, it's really fun. Tuesday nights, my channel, Out of the Abyss, D&D 5e. Wednesdays, here all day practically. A little gap in between for Call of Cthulhu, Doors to Darkness in the afternoon. Then 3 hours later, I'm here for Star Wars. Thursday evenings, Web DM's Twitch channel with the lovely Grandmas. Where we're playing some Dark Sun inspired Lamentation Rivers. It's super cool. Friday, Grimjack21502's channel again for some really awesome Firefly RPG. And then every other Saturday on Power Score RPG for D&D, and I almost forgot because it's still super new. Every Sunday afternoon, also on WebDM channel, RPGN. It's your latest news source for the past week of tabletop roleplay.
Nice.
A full-time schedule you built yourself. I'm trying to take baby steps. I'm working my way. I think I just go into cardiac arrest. If I
Jump
had that
off the
much.
diving board. That's what I did. It's great.
You know, I spent most of my life thinking about D&D all the time and wishing I had people to play with. Like, I was such an introvert back in middle school, I didn't have anybody to, like, go roll dice with. So I'd open up my journals and I'd make the dungeons and I'd make the traps and the storylines. I didn't have anyone to play with. Now, as an author on Encounter Roleplay occasionally, as a DM here, as a player that gets to play with the fantastic Lindy and Greg on Grimjack's channel on Sundays, I'm finally fulfilling all of those adolescent boy dreams I had, getting to play D&D nonstop. And now that I actually am, I find that nothing's changed, and I'm still just thinking about like tabletop like 99% of the time.
Yep.
Hey, that was Fantasy Grounds. This was Rise of the Dark Side. And it is time for us to sign off. I appreciate you coming around. Until next time, try not to roll too many nat ones, because we want to be here laughing when you do. Night, everyone.